Okay, so welcome to day one of the Every Note is Easy challenge. I am so excited that you're here, and I'm really ready to find out more about you and help you find out more about you because that's what this is all about. So, we're going to talk about a lot of technique stuff as well as what's going on in our beautiful mind. So, I'm going to put some stuff up on the screen and we shall talk about it. All right. So I would love for you to introduce yourselves if you don't mind. If it feels weird to introduce yourself on camera when it's recording, you absolutely don't have to. No
Okay.
requirements. But I would love to just know basically like a mini version of your singing journey and your goals and what your favorite song is right now.
Uh, my name's Lee. Um, my singing journey, I've always sang, but I haven't really sang in front of anyone
Mhm.
ever. Like I've been in choir, but like in a group or in a play singing with my friends. Um, so I'm looking kind of to break out of that.
Mhm.
Um, that's one of my goals.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
What's your favorite song right now?
I've been trying to find a new favorite song, so it's been terrible.
That's okay. What's your old favorite song?
I was singing that, I think I told you, like the Yellow Brick Road cover by Sarah
Yeah.
Bareilles. That was
Nice.
my jam for a while.
That's a good one. Very nice. Cool. Val, you up for introducing yourself?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Belle. Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think my singing goal is to just further my journey, like sing in front of others and then just like getting to know my voice and being able uh to incorporate that with like guitar playing as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then maybe even join a band as well, which would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think my favorite song right now is "Oh Lord" by Lauren Daigle,
Nice.
and I've just been listening to that a lot lately because she just has such a incredible voice.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Um, well, if you are watching the replay, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments because we want to know who else is joining us for the challenge too. So I know some people could come some days and not others, so we might have different groups popping in. So thank you for sharing. If you don't know about me, I'll just give you a little mini snippet. So I started off in choir in like elementary school and didn't really do much with my voice except for like very casually until like I started writing songs in eighth grade. And so I really decided then that is really what I love to do. Hey, Jonathan, welcome. And after a while of songwriting, when I was like in high school, I like got a little taste of performing. Like I opened for my friend's band and all that stuff. But then I kind of after high school put it away for a while because I was in college and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I came back to my original music after college, finally got a voice teacher for myself in my early 20s, and that's when I super dove in and I got really excited about the voice. And she was a classical teacher and she showed me what my voice could do and how good it could feel, and I hadn't experienced that up until then. And she's the one that talked me into doing my first musical, and then I got really obsessed with doing musical theater and I just like went down that rabbit hole for the next like uh, long time. And that was 2014, I think, my first musical. And so since then, I've been really expanding myself and continuing with this dream because I've always known that I want to sing. I'm just exploring all the different ways. And then musical theater was like my biggest aha moment, like, oh, you actually do have a voice, like people do enjoy listening to you sing. Like, so I continued down that road, and then that led me to voice teaching. One of my little co-stars, her grandpa asked me if I taught voice lessons, and I was like, well, not yet, but I could. And so then I did a whole bunch of research and really nerded out about it and was like, all right, let's do this. And that's 5 years ago. And so I've been a professional voice teacher for 5 years. And the more I teach, the more different kinds of people that I see, the more I learn about what other people need from me as a vocal coach. And it's really fun to have them have the same breakthroughs that I experienced in my career, I guess, until now. And it's just really amazing. Like I always tell people, like my favorite thing is to sing, and my second favorite thing is like right here is teaching people how to sing. And seeing people light up when things come out of their mouth that they didn't know was possible is like the most amazing feeling in the world. So I love it so much. My philosophy is kind of up here. I always say that I don't teach you how to use your voice because you have your own unique instrument. I teach you how to learn how to use your voice. So we're learning your voice together at the same time. So it's like if I have a clarinet, you might have a flute, and we're going to learn how to play your flute together. So we're working in the physical realm with technique, which is very important, of course, but more importantly, with your belief system around your voice. Because if we're so focused on being good and being perfect, which many of us do, as I said, if you're here, you're most likely a perfectionist, overthinking singer. And I feel that so much. So if we're so focused on what's good, we're focusing on holding ourselves back all the time. So if we're working with our belief system and getting rid of those beliefs that may have come from when you were 5 or when you were in high school and your choir teacher said something to you that like hit you the wrong way, and you've ingrained that, like you don't even know how that can be affecting you now. So we're talking a lot about those beliefs and all those layers. And because we're doing this work at the same time as the technique work can feel more free, and it can be more of an efficient way to learn how to sing, so that you don't have to spend another 10 years working on your technique because you're still in that gremlin mode that you think you're not good enough. Like when you have that freedom in here, the technique can take you way further and be more efficient for you. So hopefully that makes sense. And my goal is to just see you reach your vocal dreams in 6 months or less. You know, it could be longer, could be less. Who knows what will happen at the end of 6 months? But my goal is always like, I don't need to be your voice teacher for 10 years. Like I want you to learn how to be your own voice teacher so that you can continue making amazing strides on your own. So the intention of being here today is to sing comfortably with resilience and potency. Like, what do you think I mean by potency? Anybody want to venture a guess? You think about like a really potent,
Like you're not holding back, maybe. Like you're like it's like you're fully
yeah.
present and like putting, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that. Potent, I kind of think of like a strong flavored sauce, you know? Like, so when you're singing, you have this very strong presence. And so you're allowing the audience to really see you. And like you said, you're putting everything into it and you're not holding back. So when you have all these things together, when you have all these ingredients, you can release yourself from the hold of your inner judge, which I call the gremlin, which you've probably heard me talk about, which often comes from the opinions of others. You can start to trust yourself and your voice. And when you have that trust, you can sing so much more than what you thought was possible. And you can finally give your 12-year-old a sense of fulfillment on their dreams. So when I was 12, I wanted to be a Spice Girl. I don't know about you guys, but that's always the person that I'm doing all this for. Like, yes, you can have that dream. I want, like, if I had kids, I would be telling them like, okay, you want to be an octopus fireman? Great, let's go make that happen. And whatever it needs to be, like I have been told so many times that it was not sustainable, it was not a good idea for me to focus on music. But I never took that. I never fully believed it, and so I just kept fighting back against that. And I don't want everybody else to have to fight for so long, because it took me way too long to get to where I am, and I want you to get there faster. I want you to believe in yourself. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So you're probably in the right place. I'm positive. But this is for you if you're a perfectionist, overthinker, overachiever. These are my people. If you have a good ear, meaning you're somewhat musically proficient, most people that come here are. Um, I'm talking about like the line between being able to match pitch and not. Um, if you feel something is lacking in your knowledge about the voice, and if, to be honest, if we're perfectionists, we're always worried about having a lack of knowledge, right? We're always thinking, oh, I gotta learn more before I do the thing. If you're a hobbyist background singer, maybe you have dreams of being a lead singer on stage. You don't have to have dreams of being a lead singer on stage. You can have other dreams for your voice, but you do want to grow. Maybe something feels uncomfortable in your voice. Maybe you feel like a wall is up there and you can't get past it and you don't know why. I felt like that for a long time. If you're interested in the magic of singing, but you also want to know the science at the same time, this is my jam. If you feel confidence in one or two areas of your life, but you can't carry it over to the voice. So maybe you feel really confident in your job, but you're really hesitant when you're singing in front of other people. So this is for you. Not for you if you are looking for a magic fix for your voice, especially if you have an actual vocal injury. If you have an actual vocal injury, you need to be seeing a doctor. Okay, this is not my job. I will help you find one if you need one. But this program is a long-term commitment. I mean, the work that I do is more of a long-term commitment and not just like a magic, make my voice better, make me sing like Ariana Grande. I'm not going to be able to do that for you. It's not for you if you're not willing to believe in the possibility of your own growth. So I get a lot of students that come in and they're just like, yeah, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'm just like, okay, well, why are you here? You know, like, why are you putting so much weight into getting better if you're not going to believe that it's possible even, you know? We can really get into what you think is possible in a time limit, but if you're not willing to believe that it's possible over there, then we can't really do much. So if you're not willing to look beyond the physical to how your voice is being affected by your mind, and your whole being, that's another slight issue because this is a lot of what I do. If you need somebody that's straight up science, I will help you find one of those people too. I believe that we are so much more than just scientific anatomy machines. Looking for a coach that will just tell you what to do without doing any work yourself, also not me. If you're looking just to stay stuck where you are in your vocal journey, if you don't have any goals or dreams, if you're content to sing in your shower forever, love that. This is maybe not the best place for you because I'm going to push you. So the other thing is if somebody's making you get vocal coaching, I highly doubt that's any of you because you're all adults and you're here of your own volition. Okay, so I want you to write down some things. This is on your worksheet too, I think. So you can write down on there or in your journal or wherever you'd like. I'm gonna talk really fast because I have a lot to cover today and I don't want you to be here for forever. So rainbow wins. I call, this is like my version of like a big goal. So like I call the rainbow wins because when you reach it, you're gonna be standing on a mountaintop and the clouds will part and the angels will sing and there'll be a big rainbow above your head. Okay, so this is how we know we got there. Hi, Shital, is that how you pronounce your name? Yay, welcome. So I want you just to think about what do you want? Why are you here? Why did you come today? Why are you working on your voice? So take a minute. If you need to close your eyes, take a deep breath, really get on the inside. I want you to, we're going to take the layers deeper and deeper here. So feel free to write on your worksheet or in your journal or on an app or something. And then the next bit is if you had that thing that if you came in and were like, oh, okay, I have this thing that I wanted, what could you do with that? So like, for example, if you're here to expand your range, if you had a huge range in your voice already today, what could you do with that? What's the why behind that? Don't be afraid because you don't have to share this if you don't want to. So be brutally honest with yourself.
I needed
Okay, good.
that.
Okay, so the next bit is this thing that you could do if you had the thing you wanted. Why do you want that? It can be as simple as I just want to sing all the time. It can be as complicated as I want everybody to love me, because that's a real thing that we deal with as humans. No shame. Okay, so then once you realize why you want this thing, what would life be like if you had this like times 10 and if everything felt super easy? What would your life look like? Describe it. Where would you live? What would you do all day? How would you feel? Who would be around you? Maybe take a second and close your eyes and visualize it. What does it smell like? What does it sound like? This this daydreamable life. And I'm more talking specifically like vocally, singing wise, but if other things start to come into the mix, great, because of course we are expansive beings. Okay, and then the last part is what would you do with this life? If you had this life, if it looked like it's exactly how you imagined it, what would you do with this voice that you have, this amazing thing that you can do now that you came here for? If you had it now, what would you do with it? What's your truest and your most beautiful dream for yourself, for your voice, for your creativity, for your expression? It can be something very specific, like where do you want to perform? Or it can be something very general, like I want to promote world peace or something. Or it can be a combination. And if you would like to, you're welcome to share in the chat. What is your rainbow win? What is the thing that when you get it, when you do it, the clouds will part and the rainbows will appear? No pressure, but I would love to hear about it if you're willing. Take another 30 seconds or so. This is important stuff. Okay. Am I waiting for anybody to share or can we move on? Okay, cool. Jonathan says, I'm looking to find sustainable approaches to expanding your range higher and do it dependably without hurting my voice and or getting tired. That sounds great. So your rainbow win, what would that like? What would happen for the rainbows to come out? Curious. Like, what song would you be able to sing if this was like, oh, I made it, I got to my goal? Just a thought. Okay, so while you're thinking about all that stuff, let's talk about singer types. No pressure. You can continue to think about that stuff if you want, and take your time. So singer types, I've seen in my time as a voice teacher, um, four main ones, but there's little offshoots and subtypes of all of these, of course. But this is kind of related also to kind of like a fight or flight response. If you've heard of that, it's when your nervous system is very triggered, if it's dysregulated, you will have one of four or five different responses to the stress that's happening. And so it kind of turns out to look like certain things when you're a singer. So perfectionist singer, lots of my students are perfectionist singers. I'm a perfectionist singer. The thing that comes out when you are hit with like, ooh, that was wrong, or like, I did not like that, something is stressing you. The thing that comes out is it's not good enough and nothing I try works. But you'll keep trying forever and ever because you're a perfectionist. So it's the all or nothing attitude, right? If I can't do this, then I'm not going to do it at all. And so physically, it manifests as tight mouth, tight jaw, tight throat, tight tongue, tight abs. Oh, sorry. I just apologize to my keyboard. So you're trying to like reach these notes really hard with so much effort, and you're straining, and you can't get there no matter how hard you try and you strain. Because we're always in fight mode, right? We're always trying to reach those notes. Whereas most of the time, once you're out of your comfort zone in the extremes of your voice, what we need is less of that. We need openness, we need relaxation, we need allowing. And so this fight mechanism can really get in the way. So let me know if that sounds like you. Another type is apathetic. This is kind of like freeze mode or fawn mode, if you've heard of that. So if you come up against a hard passage or something and you're like, I can't do it, but it's okay. You're just like giving into the fact that you're never going to be better than you are. So you're resigned to your current state. You don't expect any growth. You're just like, meh, I'm just a bad singer. So this manifests physically as very little or no breath support or control, because you're not willing to do more than is comfortable in your comfort zone, right? No sound on high notes because there's no fuel, basically, because you have no breath support. So you already know you can't do it before you even try. That's the default of the apathetic singer. Let me know if that sounds like you. Some people are kind of in between the two. I call it perpetual student because they come up against something hard and they automatically look to me and they say, tell me what to do. I don't know what to do here. Instead of really looking inward and thinking back on what they have learned already and knowing that they probably do already know what to do. And so they don't know what's possible. So you give all your power to your coach, your critics, your parents, your boss. You don't trust your own instincts or your desires or your experiences. This can manifest in other parts of your life, obviously. Like this might come up in your job or a relationship or something. If somebody is really a strong personality, as they call them, it's a very nice way of saying that. Sometimes you just like give everything to them, you give all the power to them, and you don't actually know what it feels like to trust yourself because you've always looked to the mentors and the people who are better than you. And so you never get to the point where you know the things, even if you've been doing things for many years. The last type is kind of a more balanced state. If you have done a lot of work on your own trauma and your nervous system, you can get to this place where if you come up against something tough, you accept where you are. I trust myself and my voice. If you're in that place, when you mess up, you don't take it as a personality, you know, problem. You don't take it as I'm a bad singer, I'm a bad person. You're just like, nope, it's just where I am right now, and that's okay. And I trust myself to do better next time. And we're learning. It's all a scientific experiment, right? I use that all the time. So repetition and planning, which is what I base most of my technique work on, leads to solidifying and creating a foundation of trust in yourself, in your nervous system, in your body, in your mechanism, in your mind. And so through that foundation, you have a jumping off point. It's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. You know that you can do it because you've done it 100 times and you plan how to do it, and then you can expand from there. So this is what I want you all to be eventually, ideally. So which one do you feel you are? Very curious.
You want us to chat it or say it?
Either one. If you want to say it out loud, I'm always a fan of that.
Okay. I think I'm a combination of a few. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a perfectionist and a perpetual student.
Yeah,
Like where I don't, it kind of comes in with like, I mean, being a perfectionist, I guess I also don't trust myself. So they're kind of
for sure.
like they're connected for me.
Totally. Yes, I totally get that. Yeah, many people have lots of traits of both of those together. Yeah.
And and I think I'm starting to build some of the like, oh, like this is where I'm at and I'm working on things. So I think in being a part of this community, I'm more headed. Sometimes I can sit in the power
Yeah.
fleet area.
Absolutely. Totally. And yes, this is not like you are this person forever and ever. This is an evolution, right? So like sometimes you may be more balanced and sometimes you may be less balanced, and that's totally fine because we're human and that's great. Cool. Chantel says perpetual student. Perfect. Yep. A mixture, perfectionist and perpetual student. Yeah. 95% of the time, people that are attracted to me and my work, perfectionists, most of the time. Professional
I
student
fall in
is,
that camp too.
yeah, totally. Professional student is kind of another version of a perfectionist. It just manifests a little differently. Yeah, totally get that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so this is the fun part. This is where the rubber meets the road. So we're going to find out your habit statement. You probably already know what it is. Most people can tell me like, oh, this happens in my head every 5 minutes. I know exactly what's going to happen. So we're just going to find it if you don't know it already. So I want you to notice negative voices in your head. Let's turn our mics off for a moment and just sing a little something, maybe something that's a slight challenge for you. And I want you to notice what comes into your mind. Don't worry, we won't hear it. Just a little something. It can be Twinkle Twinkle, it can be an Adele song, I don't care. Just something that's gonna push you a little bit. Okay, ready, go. All right. So, what voice came into your head? Was it like an ew, or like you shouldn't have even tried that note, or like, oh man, it's so hard? For me, it was, oh, it's too early. You shouldn't be singing. You haven't warmed up yet. Bad voice, teacher. So, whatever comes in, just trust it. Write it down. So, behind this, what is the base emotion? So, a lot of times it's anger at yourself for not being where you think you should be, right? Wasn't good enough. Yep, can't do it. Sometimes it's fear, like, oh, I'm not even going to try to hit that note because I'm afraid I'm not going to hit it. Some people have joy when they're trying hard stuff. That's great. A lot of times it's a combination of fear and adding anger and sadness, though. So I want you to get to the root of what's under there. And this emotion, if you can close your eyes for a moment, where would you say, if you had to guess, where does it feel like it lives in your body? That voice, that emotion. If you can give it a color, if you can give it a texture, that might be helpful to find it as well. So where does that not good enough, fearful voice, angry voice live in your body? Me too. She told me everything lives in my solar plexus. Sometimes I feel like it's like a black hole of grossness sometimes in there. Mm-hmm. Okay, and what does the voice behind the emotion say? So we're getting a level deeper now. So it's not just you're not good enough anymore. What is happening behind that not good enough? This is where I want you to be brutally honest with yourself again. It might be a scary thing, but I want you just to do it for just a moment. If it's too scary, no pressure. But I want you to find out why this is so scary. Are you afraid of being abandoned? Are you afraid of disappointing someone? People will make fun of me, yeah. I want you to get real with yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people will say you can't sing. And why is that such a big deal? Because you've called yourself a singer for your whole life and that's your identity? That's how it works for me. Okay, last layer. That voice behind your emotion, that's your habit statement. What is consistently a pattern to come up when you're singing, when you're putting yourself in tough situations? When somebody comes up and confronts you in situations of conflict, what's your habit? The thing that is most likely to come up. If you want to share, you're welcome to. You don't have to though. Okay. So we're gonna do a quick little warm up and I want you to notice when your habit statement comes up. Try not to resist it or judge it. It's all okay. I want you to focus on how it feels and not how it sounds. Okay. So let's just do a little something. Let's just do a nice ah, a little easy arpeggio, but we're gonna go quite fast. So we're pushing a little bit to bring that habit statement out. Okay, ready? So if you can sit up, relax your shoulders, find a little extra space, find a little ease in your belly, find some ease in your chest and your shoulders. You're just relaxing those muscles. So we're gonna do a nice relaxed jaw ah arpeggio. Ready? Ah. We're starting down low, so Jonathan, you're gonna be down here probably. Good belly breath in between. Good. We're gonna a little faster. Yes, I'm going high. Couple more. If you need to stop, go ahead. Last one. Okay, good. Did your habit statement show up? Did that fear, that anger, did it come out? Let me know in the chat. Maybe it was super easy for you. That's fine too. Okay, so here's the fun part. Felt tight, yeah. And that might be something that triggers your habit statement. Like, ooh, that feels tight. I shouldn't even try that, you know? Could be, who knows? So I want you to name that voice that is telling you whatever your habit statement is. You can think of it as like a little devil on your shoulder, you know, like the angel and devil thing. A gremlin, which is what I call them, a snake. It can be any animal. It can be a abstract shape, whatever you feel like it is. That's what I want you to write down. So, like, what shape does that voice take? Some people's have been like black orbs or something. Some people have been like a bunny rabbit. You know, it depends on what you feel like it's manifesting as for you. But I like the gremlin idea because gremlins are annoying and ugly and smaller than me. Like this. So I want you to imagine what it looks like. Write down a couple of features about it, visual features. And then I also want you to give it a name. Okay. So feel in your gut where that habit statement lives. What is that being's name? It's not you. What does it feel like its name is? This is my favorite part. It's so fun to hear what people's gremlins are named. Very curious. Bobo. I like it. Nice. Yeah, and your gremlin might be like a cute cartoon or something. Who knows? One of my students, her gremlin was the computer from Space Odyssey, Hal, what 3000 or whatever. Yeah. So it's like had a very nice, soothing voice, but was saying terrible things. So whatever your gremlin looks like, whatever its name is, I want you to remember that when that voice comes back, I want you to feel it where it is. I want you to know in your gut that it is not you, because it is most likely an amalgamation of all these voices from your whole life, that it's society's coming in. It's, you know, every time you watch American Idol and somebody doesn't get voted through that you thought was really good, all these layers of things that you have internalized. That's not you. Hiss from the Robin Hood movie. I love that. That's great. He's an evil little dude. Yeah. Okay, cool. So the next part, once you know your gremlin's name, is tell your gremlin to F off, right? That's usually the most quick and effective way to get out of that place of the fight or flight. It's what is affecting your nervous system and creating that dysregulation. So if you can just tell it to F off, you can separate from that voice and be like, hey, you're not me. I don't need to listen to you. Whatever you need to do. If that doesn't work, to just tell it to F off. I really like it's just slapping it off my shoulder. Mine's name is George, by the way. So I slap George off my shoulder. He comes back, I pick him up, I friggin' drop kick him into oblivion. Whatever works for you. If violence doesn't work for you, if you are an anti-violence person, you can give him a little hug, put him in the corner, tell him to take a nap. Okay, whatever needs to happen for your brain to get out of that attack mode, right? So it's your defense from being attacked by the gremlin. Does that make sense? Do you feel that happening when you're trying to do more things with your voice? When you're putting yourself at risk biologically? This just comes from, you know, being prehistoric humans and having lions come and attack you. And this is our body's natural response to that. But in this case, we put it in a very different situation, and we think that people thinking we're a bad singer is equal to the danger of a lion coming and trying to eat you, you know? So it's okay that this is happening. Our job is just to remind our bodies that we're safe. That voice is not me, it's not true, and I don't have to be afraid of that. however you need to send it away. That's what I want you to do. Okay. So, thing I want you to remember though is it always is going to come back. Your job is not to send it away forever because it's not really possible. It's up to you though when it comes back whether to give it space, whether to listen to it, or you get to choose to believe that the voice you hear is not your own and send it away again. So the more time you can have in non-gremlin mode, the better, because then you are giving yourself that foundation of trust that I was talking about before. You're giving yourself evidence that you can play and you can expand and you can try new things with your voice. And this is why I use the phrase, just let it be ugly all the time. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So, these are your first assignments for today. And as I mentioned, if you send in all of your homework for all 4 days, I will guaranteed give you $300 off if you join us for the Vocal Magic program. So day one, your homework, and it says at the bottom of that worksheet, is I want you to get intimate with your mind. I want you to really think about what type of singer are you and what is your habit statement, and what your gremlin looks like. I would love to hear about that. So post that in the group. And if you're new to the group, it's the group inside the group. So the community, overarching community, is the Your Voices Magic community. And the group that we're in this challenge is under groups on the left. And you're going to find the Every Note is Easy group and post it in there. So we'll see each other's stuff and we can talk about it. If you see somebody else that has the same habit statement as you can commiserate. Okay, I want you to journal for about 15 minutes on this question if you have time today. If you don't, it's all good. I know we're all adults and we're busy, but I just want you to be thinking about it at least. You know, you can, instead of a journal, you can do a voice memo. I love doing that because that's how I get more into the flow with what's actually going on in my mind and how I process things better sometimes. Activate your self-acknowledgement on a cellular level by speaking out loud, which is what I just said. Bonus, post it in a comment on my Instagram live from today. I'm going to go live at 1 my time, so 7 p.m. Eastern. And you can come join me. I'll be talking a little bit about this stuff. So come join me for my live. Post your singer type and your habit statement. Whatever conclusions, whatever amazing realizations you had today, come and post them on there. Sound good? I know the word homework is scary for adults, but I think this will be fun homework. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, musings? Anybody else want to share their gremlin? $47. Perfect. Okay, cool. Well, I can't wait to hear all about all of your habit statements and your rainbow wins and your gremlins. Tell me all about it in the group, and I will have this replay up shortly. I'm going to post it in that same group, in the Every Note is Easy Challenge group on the Mighty Networks. And then I gave you that worksheet link. It should have all 4, so you can download them ahead of time and look at them if you'd like. But it, like I said, it will make more sense when you're in here filling it out. So also DM me if you have any questions. I'm here for you all the time. And just so you know, the next couple days are going to be a little more singing. Today was a lot of brain work. So we're going to do a little more singing tomorrow and the next day. And then Friday, we're going to talk about the next steps for you, like what you've realized that you need in order to help you get to your rainbow win. And then I'm going to talk about my vocal magic program, because perfectionist overthinking singers like you all are exactly who I want in there. And I'm excited to start a new cohort. This will be my 3rd one. The other 2, I'm graduating one, my 2nd group on Sunday, and I'm just like floored at their progress. And I'm so excited to tell you about it. So any other questions? I'm here for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate you.